Hey everyone, I'm Mike Gray, CTO of VerticalApps, and I'm so excited to be here today to introduce our brand new web series, Bots and Bevs. In each episode, I'm going to sit down and interview a VerticalApps expert in intelligent automation. We're going to cover topics ranging from building a bot to machine learning, and of course, we're going to share some drinks along the way. In the fall, we're going to be hosting a meetup where you can come in person and meet these experts and have further discussions. Please sign up at verticalapps.com/botsandbevs. I really hope to see you there, and I really hope you enjoy our new series. In today's episode, I sit down with Jackson Towle and we talk about everything it takes to actually build a bot. Welcome everybody to our premiere episode of Bots and Bevs. I'm Mike Gray, CTO of VerticalApps, and I'm very lucky to be joined here with Jackson Towle, a real-life bot developer. Jackson, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right, Mike.
Good to see you. All right, before we dive into this too much, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been at VerticalApps almost 3 years now. I handle most of the technical aspects of bot development and deployment. I consider myself a bot man. You know, I think about them so much, I may just become a robot.
All right, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna ask you some questions. You're gonna pretend like I'm a federal PM or one of your customers, and you're just gonna tell me the truth about what's going on.
Sure.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, cool. All right, so let's start here. I hear everyone all around talking about, RPA, and I build bots and we build bots. They don't know how to build bots. I know you can build bots. Walk me through, what are the steps of building an RPA?
Well, before we get into the steps, let's just talk about what RPA is. Everyone says, RPA, you already mentioned it, RPA. Well, RPA stands for Robotic Process Automation. It's just the emulation of humans on a computer. We're taking the keyboard and the mouse out of the user's hands and everything happens automatically on the computer. Now let's get to the steps. It's all about intake, design, development, testing, and my favorite part, the push to production.
Give me a sense, how long does it take to get a bot to production?
Sure, it takes anywhere from a few days to a few months. And that's all contingent on the size of the automation being developed and the complexity of the automation being developed. Also, it's much easier to build a robot to handle all the good things that a process does. What happens when things go wrong? That's where most of the time takes. We're trying to handle exceptions, unknown errors. What's going to come up when the bot's running the automation of the process?
Center me here, like, why are we bothered doing this? What's the value?
Well, the value really comes in scalability and eventually taking the process off of the user's machine. Now, scalability is just how many people can we get running the bot at once? You know, it's nice to have one person run one bot once a week. The real value is multiple users running the same bot concurrently across multiple office sites. And the next step, getting that process off of the user's machine. Wow. We call that unattended. The users don't even need to interact with the bot. It just happens in the background.
So now we know sort of what the value is, why we bother doing it, why we're here. You as a developer, me as a PM or a customer, what can I do for you to help you build me a bot that actually works and scales?
Yeah, that's a great question. We need processes with clearly defined process steps, business rules that we can follow to handle those exceptions that we talked about earlier. We also need to design for those concurrent users, that scalability, the real value in automations. And finally, active communication between you, the process owner, me, the developer, and the end users. What do you really want this bot to look like? What do you want it to feel like? How are you going to interact with this automation on your laptop?
Man, that's really thoughtful and very cool. You're right, communication is always the key. How about this? Give me a sense of what did you do to become a bot developer? This technology is pretty new. You know, it's only been around a few years. You've been with us about 3 years. Did you study this in school? How did we get here?
I wish I studied it in school. I didn't even know it existed. Wow. I thought I was going to go to law school. Could you believe that?
I actually can.
Well, I don't believe it anymore. But recently, the past few years, I got certified and working in these automations daily, I've gained the confidence to be able to work on these automations and develop and automate almost any process.
All right, so if you've done a bunch of these automations, just give me one example. Give me a cool bot that you've built in the last 3 years.
Absolutely.
All right.
Well, recently we just rolled out a new automation that can handle up to multiple thousands of tickets and forms every day.
Shut the up.
What do you think about that?
I think that's crazy. Really, like thousands a day?
Thousands a day.
Do you know how many they could do before the automation?
Maybe 100.
Wow, so you got tenfold.
It's awesome.
That is pretty awesome. That's a lot of workload. All right, well, I mean, I'm sure with all that information, you're going to get a lot of questions come our event in the fall coming up.
I'm looking forward to it.
All right, so let's get to what I believe is going to be my favorite part of these videos, the bevs.
Well, it's the heat of summer, and in the heat of development, you need something to cool yourself off.
Well, let's try this thing. Let's see if we get cooled off. Oh man, that is good.
Pretty good, right? It's my favorite.
I've had this before. What is it?
Well, it's a gin and tonic with a squeeze of orange in it.
Oh.
And you can see the orange slice on top to finish after you're done.
You know what? You might have changed my whole take on the gin and tonic going forward. That's awesome, Jackson. I appreciate your time today. That was super informative. I think we learned a lot. And I know folks out there will be looking forward to talking to you come fall.
I can't wait.
Awesome, man. Cheers everybody.
Cheers, everyone.